Hello everyone and welcome back to Do We Know Them? I'm Lily Marston here with Jessie Smiles and we've made it to episode 167.
Barely. I'm excited about this episode. I get to introduce you to two of my friends that I haven't been able to introduce you to. Just it's people I've seen on my For You page forever, for I feel like a year now, and we've never talked about them.
Yeah, I was like, why am I nervous?
You should be actually. But yeah, what do we have anything else we want to lead with? This is the first time I've worn my hair straight since I have a middle part, and I feel like I look like Jesus.
You're just switching up the hair every day.
I mean,
New
what
person.
else am I gonna do?
Stay the same like me. But I did wear mine down again, so.
Honestly, my favorite thing to do is crimp my hair, but you know, sometimes you can't crimp it. I didn't have time today, so.
Someone commented on the last episode and was like, well, now that Jessie did a ponytail, Lily has to crimp her hair. I'm like.
I think they said aggressively crimp.
Yes, they did.
That was the verbiage.
Aggressively was definitely in there. I need a crimper for that though, I guess. Anyway, before we get to introducing me to your friends, we do have a...
When you see them, you're going to be like, what?
I really have no idea what you're talking about. But before we do that, we do have a not so fun topic to discuss.
Yeah.
We're not going to go over it super in depth, but we feel like we have to address it because it's about Brooke Schofield and we've been talking about Brooke quite a bit lately.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been pretty vocally supportive of Brooke, mainly because we're united in our front against Clinton Kane. I mean, let's be real. It's really not about Brooke. True. It's about our hatred for him. And that still stands. And Alyssa Violet, you too.
Yeah, I was like, this changes nothing.
But yeah, so we definitely need to talk about this because recently Brooke has been outed, canceled. I don't know what to call it, exposed for her racist tweets. Is it her current account? How do people find this? Do you know?
I assume so.
But yeah, a bunch of people found a lot of racist tweets that we are going to cover because, again, if we're going to vocally support her, we need to also be vocal about the not so fun things that come out about someone. The tricky part is, I don't know if you know this, Lily and I are white. And so, I mean, people will always like try to defend me in the comments, be like, Jessie's Cuban. I'm like, yeah, but I'm white. Like I'm Cuban and white. So anyway, doesn't matter. Well, it does matter because we don't want to step on this conversation and be like, well, this is what we think about Brooke's apology and this and that. And obviously we think that, you know, the people from the communities affected, the Black community, the Latino community, which I guess I can weigh in on a little bit, but like the plus size community,
yeah, I was gonna say
she really,
the gay community and
yeah, she honestly, she touched on every minority possible in the worst way. We don't want to talk over the voices from those communities that are speaking about this. Although Lily and I can talk about anything, we're not here to be like, oh, this apology should be accepted or shouldn't be accepted. Like, we're just going to talk about what happened, how she responded. Honestly, I wish I could say like it's shocking, but I feel like something like this happens every week now. Cody Ko, that wasn't racist, but it was still something horrible. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think also though, the reason this one is kind of like, ooh, not that any racism is appropriate or excusable, but this wasn't just like, oh, she was tweeting out some lyrics or she was trying to be edgy. It was like really, really disturbing,
deep-seated hatred for a community. Yeah.
Should we just go ahead and read them?
Yeah. So what I would like to do, and I think is the smartest thing to do, is kind of just like rapid fire through the tweets, talk about them, maybe briefly. There are some that obviously we can't just like read through and not say anything because it's so hard. What I really want to get into is how Brooke addressed it, because I think it's beyond insane. Like, I can't believe this has all gone down this way, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, that's it. Like, it was disappointing, and then it just kept getting more disappointing, and it's a lot. So here is, I'm pretty sure, the tweet that originally, I mean, well, first of all, this is not something that just came out necessarily. It's only just now really gotten traction, but people have known about this for a while, I guess. Like, I knew that there was something out there, but I definitely hadn't seen the extent of them, and definitely not the worst ones.
I had zero clue. I thought that the most she got canceled for was trying to sleep with or sleeping with. I'm not sure the details on that. Tana Mojo's man at the time. Like, I had no idea.
I kind of don't even really know all the details on that. We've never really been invested or aware of Brooke's.
Nor do we watch the podcast or anything like that.
Yeah,
like, we're not.
We watch like clips, but yeah, I had no idea they were as bad as they were and that there were so many. And just about a little under a month ago, this TikTok account posted a bunch of the deleted ones. And I'm pretty sure this is what first got it some traction, but then also Pop Crave ended up posting it after this, and it's been viewed like 12 million times at this point. So it's crazy to see her go from having so many people support her and just like totally be on her side with the Clinton thing, and then within a couple weeks now just like totally go the opposite way. But here, shall I just go?
Yeah, just go for it.
Okay, so starting off with Definitely the worst one. Guarantee if Zimmerman shot a white guy, this wouldn't even be a story. And then in all caps, newsflash, this wasn't a crime of racism, it was self-defense.
We don't know what she's talking about. I feel like this one is probably the only one that's like really important to like stop on for a second, because this is just, it's not just being edgy or weird or having a different frame of thinking. This is a bizarre and barbaric take, like just flat out. George Zimmerman shot and killed Trayvon Martin. What year was it? It was when I was in high school, I'm pretty sure.
Well, so this tweet is from 7/14/13, so I'm assuming 2013.
Not the most opportune time to interrupt, but just wanted to correct the girlies because it was actually February 26, 2012 that Trayvon tragically lost his life. Brooke's tweet was posted July 14, 2013, which falls just one day after the jury had acquitted Zimmerman, finding him not guilty of second-degree and allowing him to walk away a free man. Following his not guilty verdict, Zimmerman would be involved in a few altercations. November of 2013, his girlfriend called police after he allegedly pointed a shotgun at her and damaged some of her belongings. He would be charged with aggravated assault, weapon, domestic violence, and criminal mischief. But then, just 3 weeks later, Zimmerman's girlfriend ended up asking police that the charges against him be dropped, leaving him a free man once again. A year later, in September of 2014, he allegedly threatened to kill a driver during a road rage incident, but the other driver declined to press charges. Despite these concerning incidents, as well as the discovery that Zimmerman had also assaulted a police officer back in 2005, by October 2014, the Justice Department reportedly made the decision to not bring federal civil rights charges against Zimmerman for Trayvon's murder. And in February of 2015, they would officially close their investigation into Trayvon's death without filing any charges, citing a lack of evidence. The decision and reasoning were particularly devastating considering the many experts who agree that the Sanford police had made several key errors early in the investigation, along with making crucial decisions before important evidence was gathered, all of which would ultimately work in Zimmerman's favor.
But basically, it was a hate crime, flat out.
Yeah, and I was like refreshing my memory on the details last night, and literally Trayvon was 17 and he had gone to the convenience store to buy Skittles and an Arizona iced tea, and he had a hoodie on. And apparently George Zimmerman had had like break-ins or something recently, and he saw a black kid in a hoodie and called the police and was like, there's someone suspicious wandering around out there. And then they were like, okay, well, don't follow him. Cut to they're getting a call because there was a shooting, and he had followed him and gone after him, and literally unarmed, no criminal record, 17-year-old with some Skittles and an iced tea. I have goosebumps.
I saw that Becca, our friend, was talking about this, and she mentioned how, you know, when people come out with like, they're like quoting songs or certain things, and you're like, okay, well, maybe things were like, people were thinking differently back then. Because like if you watch any movie from the early 2000s, it's shocking to see now. This is not a take though that I knew anyone who thought this way. Does that make sense? Like nobody around me said anything like this. Everyone was like, had a severe hatred for George Zimmerman. That's all I remember from that time. So the fact that she thinks this is insane.
Yeah.
And I think this was the one that I just, when I saw it, like my heart dropped, and I even texted Lily, I was like, the Zimmerman one, like how do you get past that? You can't. Like what the fuck? This is like deep rooted racism. It's just horrible. It was far beyond anything I expected to see.
And then it also goes to show like that she's not the only one that thought that, because her mom was commenting on like responding to some of them.
And notably, she has been open that her mom is a drug addict and she wasn't raised by her mom. But that being said, I don't know how relevant that is in this situation, because they're both going like back and forth, and it seemed like they almost bonded over these views. So yeah.
Yeah, so another thing she tweeted was, the entire trial was so twisted by the media, half of you couldn't describe half of what happened. And her mom responds to that and says, I'm so glad you pay attention. And then she also had tweeted, quit acting like Zimmerman shot and killed a child. The kid was 17 years old. Ironic that she says the kid was 17 years old after saying he's not a child.
That is such an insane take.
Then her mom responds to that one and says, the media was showing pics of him at 12, not 5'10". So those are definitely by far the most, I mean, they're all awful, but like those ones are just disturbing, honestly. Otherwise, if we go through some of them, this one has really just come to bite her in the ass because people are commenting it on it, like everything she posts. She is responding to someone that she says, oh my God, I had nappier hair this morning than most African Americans on this end of our country. Hashtag Afro.
Not the hashtag Afro. Oh my God.
Have you seen, like, Brooke is literally, like, the slick back buns and, like, the most fine hair.
She
like,
literally has dental floss hair. Like, bye. I can't.
Yes.
But that's the one that's getting commented all over her TikTok right now. It's like, I love your afro. It looks so good today. Hashtag Afro girl.
Like, people are being really passive aggressive about it. It's actually kind of funny. Here's some of the other ones that are more like her thinking she's being funny. And it's one, Cassie yells racist profanities in the movie theater, and then only minority in the room is sitting directly behind us.
Fun.
Okay. What racist profanities was your friend yelling? I said so many accidentally racist things last night. I don't even know how I made it back to America. Not even sure what the context is there, but weird thing to say. This one is just like, what? To R-word you or not to R-word you, everyday struggle. Then quit calling me when you're drunk, F-slur. I don't even want you when you're sober. Then this one, I'm just like, really? You can't trade lap dances for cheeseburgers because after a while, no one will want a lap dance from a fat person. Cheeseburger emoji. Hashtag you're welcome.
That one was funny.
Just real zinger.
Yeah.
Then her responding to someone saying, oh, I see. I'm going to go later because I get all embarrassed when I work out like a fat girl. I sure wish I didn't have to dress as a D slur, lesbian slur.
Wow.
I sure wish I didn't have to dress like a D slur for work.
My God.
Someone says, I'm dressing up for hipster day on Friday. And she responds and says, if you can tweet, you can answer your phone F slur. I had a question. So very clear that F slur was part of her vocabulary.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
This one is wild. What do you call a Mexican baptism? Bean dip. That one's really making the rounds on her social media too.
She didn't miss a beat. She got every community.
Oh God.
What?
November 8th, 2016, she says, America is great again.
Oh, yeah. She had a few tweets that were referencing the 2016 election, Hillary, Donald Trump, if you don't remember. How could you forget? And I remember there was one that she references, like, people get their political views from Beyonce. Basically, everyone's uninformed, and if you're not voting for Donald Trump, you're an idiot, essentially, I think is what I gathered. When I saw that year, that was insane. Like, when I saw 2016, I know everything is horrible, and all these tweets are horrible, but like to know that something could be that recent, and that does feel, that's when I met my husband. Like I remember Nassim was there and he's like, he was living in America, but like, you know, he didn't really fully understand. And when my friend woke me up and was like, Donald Trump won, I was just like in tears. It was literally so dramatic. It was awful.
I went to my friend at Clever. Her and her husband had like a party at their house like the night of. And I just remember it like came through that he won. And we all just kind of were like, oh. And like people were crying and everyone just like turned off the TV and everyone just left. And it's like,
yeah, it was like such an ominous feeling even then. And people can call that dramatic. I know people who like are Trump supporters. I don't know how many of them are here, but I know there's a few of them. We get comments here and there of people annoyed with us that we're not like, we don't like Trump. But it's so weird to see someone that is now, quote unquote, very vocally leftist and like all these progressive views and all stuff. Yeah. And in 2016, you voted for Donald Trump. Are you fucking crazy? And then most notably, people found her voting records. People are wild. But I believe the 2016 election is the only one she voted in. It does not show that she voted in the 2020 elections.
Well, I mean, a good thing she didn't vote for Trump, at least, I guess.
Yes, but it just goes to show, because this is all relevant, and she talks about how much she's like been learning and unlearning, more importantly, all the stuff from her past. But if in 2020, which was 4 years ago, you didn't feel like it was important to vote, like I just find that to be a little bit insane.
When, you would think, especially if that was like the time period that she was shifting her belief system.
That's what it falls right on that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Joe Biden is like an angel and she should have been like publicly like, I love Joe Biden. I'm just saying that was a really important fucking election. And if she didn't even vote, that says something. But that's what it says in her public voting records. Maybe they're not updated. I don't know.
On that note, because she does say that she grew up very conservative, and I don't doubt that, but one of her tweets is, my great-grandpa's toilet paper has Obama's face engraved in it. I'm like, first of all, engraved is not the right word, but also, what?
Yeah, printed.
Yeah.
But notably, when that all came out, before Brooke addressed this, a lot of people were like, why are you surprised? She's co-host with Tana Mongeau. Tana Mongeau has been outed for racism a million times, both by her friends that have like Kaylin Berry, who actually was around her a lot and worked with her and stuff. He says that there was a lot of microaggressions. So she has a a history of this and of saying slurs and things like that. But also she has her own horrendous tweets saying the N-word. She has one specifically towards Cubans, which is fun. You know, she has her fair share of the same exact bullshit. So people were kind of like, why are we surprised? And I don't think I'm surprised at all. I think what's jarring is what you said in the beginning. It's like, dude, her internet roller coaster is insane.
Yeah.
Because like the Clinton Kane thing was, it blew the internet
It's
out
rare
of the water.
you see so many people riding so hard for one person, because usually there is kind of a split, and it was like pretty unanimous. I mean, understandably, Clinton's awful, and this isn't feeling bad for her or like trying to defend her. I'm just like, I can't fathom going from like such a high, and that's when all eyes were on her the most, and then all of a sudden this comes back to the surface, and it's like, just kidding.
What I do find interesting, though, is what you said, which is that these have been around for at least a year now. And I didn't know that. But if that's true, Brooke knew they were out.
Oh, yeah,
Rest
for
assured,
sure.
she knew.
Well, as it turns out, Brooke not only knew, she actually has already commented on it a year ago. The reason why no one knew that is because she did it on Reddit through an anonymous account that I guess like some people knew was her, but most people wouldn't know to look there. Anyway, let's read them. I will absolutely address, especially if people are hurt by them, not the if. I've talked about it a few times before, how I look back on things I used to think were funny and normal jokes to make, and I'm just as disturbed as you are. I don't think it's normal. I don't think it's okay just because I was kidding or young. I think it's gross and horrible. I love you all and I do take accountability. I hate when people say things like I didn't know better or anything along those lines, so I don't want to come across that way at all, but I truly thought I was anti-racist at the time. You can find tweets from the same time frame where I'm saying things like, I don't care if you're cute and old, being racist is ugly, etc. I just truly thought I was being funny, and I absolutely wasn't. I know differently now, and I try to make that known the best I can. There are family members I haven't spoken to since 2020 when I realized where they stood during BLM, and I've grown into myself and my own belief system outside of what I grew up. I love you guys, and I'm sorry to anyone who was hurt reading those. It was never funny. So that exists. And I think that the main sentiment that followed that post was, girl, what do you mean jokes? What about the Zimmerman tweet? And then she posted again and said, I hadn't seen the Zimmerman tweets when I wrote about the bad jokes, and that obviously could never be dismissed as a bad joke. It was a horrible take that I probably wholeheartedly believed at the time. I was wrong. I've spoken openly before about what I was taught growing up versus what I believe now. Growing up, it was just me and my grandpa, an 80-year-old conservative man who played Rush Limbaugh through the house all day. I didn't know anything about politics as a teenager, but I would listen to him and other people around me and piece together these opinions when I had no idea what I was talking about. I wanted to feel like I was in the know without doing any actual research, and as ashamed as I am to admit it, I didn't understand how wrong a lot of it was until I was an adult. Once I moved to LA and was fully on my own was when I finally started actively learning and began to form my own opinions. But I understand what a privilege it is to get all the way to adulthood without having to really learn or care about politics. Most people do not have that luxury, and while of course I'm grateful to know what I know now, I wish I'd put in the effort sooner. I'm sorry about the tweets. I'm sorry to everyone who is hurt or disappointed by them. I am too, and I will do better. Those are still up on Reddit. They were posted a year ago, and I think we can all agree that she definitely knew, and I think we all know why she didn't post earlier.
Anyway, she does finally, after about 24 hours, I'm pretty sure, because she had posted a TikTok about punching someone in the face, and then she was quiet. And then the next day, she posted her first apology. And it does seem rushed, you could say. It does seem frazzled a bit.
I was pulling assets and I just wanted to throw this in here. Someone had commented on that post and said, girl, you gotta say something. This is wild. And she responded and said, I'm going to, I promise. I'm in Canada for work and it's not something I want to rush or half-ass. I'm not ignoring you guys. I hear you. So she posted that in the 24 hours before she actually ended up posting her first apology. She came out with this 24 hours later and is a bit emotional, and it was not received well.
All right, you guys, I have had a lot to say about accountability lately and how important it is and how far it can go, and I feel like I'm not taking my own advice. Obviously, by now you guys have seen the tweets that are circulating around. They unfortunately are not fake. Those are real tweets, like real things that I said. First of all, I want to acknowledge that I feel the same way about them that you do. I think they're so disturbing, they're wrong, they're horrible, and they're disgusting. Of course, I do appreciate the people who are coming to bat for me and like saying like, you know, it was so long ago and like she's grown and stuff, but like it doesn't fucking matter. Like it literally does not matter. They are horrible. I want to talk about particularly the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman situation. Try not to be so emotional because I don't want it to seem like it's like a sympathy thing at all. I also don't want to blame anybody else at all. And so I'm trying like to be really careful about that. I just want to explain like and give some context into like my mindset at the time, because I have seen like some comments today that are like, well, no shit, she's racist, like white nepo baby, like a little like spoiled brat, like, and that was not my situation. And my parents were addicts, so I was adopted by my grandparents when I was like 10, and I grew up with them from that point on. And as is true for a lot of grandparents, they're a little bit less progressive than a lot of us are now. And my grandma has dementia, so it was really just like me and my grandpa. And he is a very, very right-wing conservative man, okay? It was like my household was literally just
Racist.
Fox News all the time. Rush Limbaugh, like if you guys know who that is, like playing literally all day long through the house. And that was just like the only thing ever that I had been exposed to.
What's annoying about this to me, just this part in particular, is like it almost feels like she's still trying to protect her grandfather.
For sure she is.
You know, I get it. That's your family. But at the same time, my dad is a lifelong Republican who did not vote for Donald Trump and literally hates him with everything in him. And my dad never listened to Rush Limbaugh because that guy is insane, was insane. Literally, the rhetoric you're speaking of is not right-wing conservative. The rhetoric you're speaking of is racist and really bigoted and dangerous. That kind of shit that they spew, like Rush Limbaugh used to spew, is dangerous, flat out. So like I feel like her just being like, he was really conservative and I was around it all the time. No, you were around like a straight up racist, like 100%.
So there was one tweet we haven't gone over yet, and we didn't really understand the context when we were filming. So Brooke didn't write this tweet, but she did retweet it. It is a picture of a gorilla wearing a graduation cap. And along with it, it says, "The picture at CNN don't want you to see." But we have since been made aware that it is in reference to 18-year-old Michael Brown and his graduation photo, which was the photo that news outlets were using when they discussed him being shot and killed by a police officer just 8 days after his graduation. 10 years ago today, actually. Unsurprisingly, the police officer did not face charges. He was never indicted, and he claimed it was self-defense, which is interesting when you consider he fired 12 shots, all while Michael was unarmed, but self-defense. Great. The depiction of Black people as gorillas is nothing new. It's one of several well-known racist caricatures that have been used against Black people for centuries at this point. One of those is the brute caricature, which is considered the most deadly of the racist tropes that have formed around Black people. And it depicts Black men as violent, with the goal being to paint them as a danger to society. And specifically, the narrative that was pushed was that Black men only want equal rights to gain access to white women. And white men needed to subdue these uncontrollable subhumans, and just like it used to be used to justify the lynching of Black men, now it often plays a part in rationalizing the brutal and often fatal violence directed at Black men at the hands of police officers and white vigilantes. It is posts like these and these kind of harmful stereotypes that throughout the course of history have resulted in the social perception of Black people, especially Black men, as inherently dangerous and people that you need to be defended from, to a point that if a Black man is killed by a police officer while unarmed, people will still believe that it's self-defense from this out of control, violent Black man. So given that information, this tweet is arguably worse than the Trayvon Martin one, because not only is it using one of the most toxic, racist stereotypes associated with Black people, but it is doing so to justify the killing of an 18-year-old who was shot by a police officer who claimed self-defense even though Michael Brown was unarmed. No, this is disgusting on so many levels, and I can't believe that this is something she tweeted. And I think it's crazy because I don't think a lot of people have seen this one, and I don't know how familiar everyone is with the history behind this stereotype and how deep-rooted it is in racism in our country, but this is insane. This wasn't an offensive comment. This wasn't just a racist joke. This was perpetuating the stereotypes and harmful ideas that literally led to the events that she was tweeting about. This is much deeper rooted than just like ignorance and not realizing something was wrong. When you think back to Brooke's Reddit apology, she says that it was a horrible take that I probably wholeheartedly believed at the time. That probably was a little weird to me to begin with, because it was kind of like, acting as if she doesn't remember posting that, so like she doesn't really know what her mindset was at the time. But after seeing this, which is now the second time we've seen her justify the killing of an unarmed black teenager, while this one she doesn't flat out say that, we don't really know why you'd be tweeting out a characterization of him as a gorilla 2 years after he died if you weren't also in agreement that this was self-defense, even though, again, he was unarmed. She didn't probably wholeheartedly believe it. She definitely wholeheartedly believed it at the time, and I hope that she doesn't wholeheartedly believe it now, and again, this is the 10-year anniversary today of Michael Brown's death. So on that note, we will be linking the Michael Brown Foundation in the description below, and then I will also link the Trayvon Martin Foundation as well if anyone wants to donate. There has also been a TikTok that has come up that is a person who DM'd Brooke and has showed that it's a screen recording, it's definitely real, and they're informing her of a lot of things. But one of the exchanges is them saying, just so you're aware, tomorrow is the anniversary of Michael Brown's death. You know, the 18-year-old's death you mocked? Michael Brown also has a foundation. You should also look up pulseorlando.org since you mocked those victims as well. Oh, and maybe stop blocking POC that are voicing their concerns like you did last year in attempt to have this all blow over. And Brooke responds, I appreciate anyone trying to genuinely help and provide insight and guidance. The only people I have blocked who have said genuinely unproductive and hateful things. And then she has a quote that says, you should take Trayvon's place, etc. I have not blocked anyone who is genuinely voicing their concerns at all. And then in response to her finding out about the anniversary, she says, thank you for telling me this. I will donate, and I appreciate you for providing resources instead of just encouraging me to disappear forever. And the conversation does go on for a bit. I will link it below if you want to read the full thing, but it does end with her acknowledging that she will not be ignoring it on the podcast, but that she also will not be on the podcast for a while. She said, it's a mutual decision that we think is best for everyone. I need a bit of time to process, and I feel a lot of guilt for bringing this into Tana's world and everything she's already dealing with publicly. I don't know what that means for the future, but I don't think there's any world where we sit down and giggle and laugh with everything going on. So she and Paige will have it covered for a little while, and I'm just going to take the time to do the things I promised. So again, I'll link that whole conversation below if you want to read more, but I think that is it for this very not fun update.
You know, just a theory. Is she doing that because maybe she doesn't see her grandfather as racist? Maybe she just sees him as a conservative right wing. I don't know. Like, I mean, if she thought her grandfather was actually a racist person who believes dangerous things, she would just say that. I think some of my family members believe dangerous things. And should their political views ever become public, I would be the first person to say that and be like, oh, yeah, I'm the one fighting with them. Like, I know. Trust me, I know.
Well, it's actually funny you say that because I actually did see, and this isn't to try and like give her any kind of out, but people found her Facebook posts from like 2020 or something, which is before she got a following, and it's about her arguing with family members and like trying to like inform them of stuff. It's her going to like a protest and posting pictures. Thought I'd share a few photos from a peaceful protest in Hollywood this afternoon, as well as a few photos that have really resonated with me over the last few days, although I have much larger audience on my other social media platforms. Oh, I guess so she did have a following, but this was on Facebook. Most people my own age don't need to be convinced that racism is wrong. One of the real turning points in early adulthood was the moment I realized that even the people you look up to your whole life can be so many wrong things, and they most likely are. So this post is intended to encourage all my distant relatives and weirdly racist former classmates to turn off the news and do some real research, because this is a lot more than a bunch of misfits breaking windows and looting stores. What's going on right now is really special, and you should be ashamed to not be a part of it. Anyway, my point is you either understand the movement or you're racist. Okay, bye.
Interesting. Okay.
And stuff like how white people say all lives matter.
What I do find interesting, though, is, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement, it definitely moved a lot of people for obvious reasons. What happened to George Floyd was absolutely fucking horrible, and witnessing that as a country was appalling and motivated people to kind of just get on the streets, start protesting, you know, all that stuff. But there was a lot of people who were performative about it, for sure. You know, the black squares, the things that like they would do with like the makeup with like the black fist. Have you seen that? It's like, oh my God, please, I beg.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Too far.
With the Macklemore song,
that.
that's like, we might not be the same, but that's it. Oh my, I can't.
The only thing, and again, I'm not being like, we should forgive Brooke, she has changed.
Well, it's not up to us either way.
No, exactly. But that is on Facebook, and not like she didn't post that on the platforms where it would be most performative.
I think what I was saying is not even so much that it's performative, but the movement was like a popular movement. You know what I mean?
For sure.
In both ways. Like the people who were on the other side felt like super, super passionate about their discussion, and then vice versa. But obviously it's nice to see her on that side of things and not the other way around, because considering those tweets, it could have been.
Well, yeah, I was going to say,
easily
and
the
we're
other
going to
way
read
around.
some other ones in a little bit that were really like, is anything you say genuine?
Real.
Because I
Yeah.
can't tell anymore. So hopefully that is what it seems to be.
How she actually feels.
Yeah, but let's go back to her apology.
A lot of you guys have also seen my mom's Twitter because she was responding back and forth about the Trayvon Martin situation, and I just should have known better. I know her, and I should have known that she is not somebody that I take any sort of political insight from at all. Again, sometimes you like have these people that you like put on a pedestal and you think everybody older than you is smarter than you and knows everything, and they do not. Truthfully, it took me a really long time. Like, I know some of the tweets I was like 18 and people are like, yeah, like she was old enough to know better. Like, honest to God, you guys, it wasn't until like even after college that I really started to like shift my way of thinking. And there are people in my life who I might have looked up to forever who I do not agree with. And I think it's amazing now that people are like learning earlier on about politics and like forming their own opinions outside of like what their parents think or what they're hearing or whatever it is. But that just wasn't the case for me. Whatever I heard, I passed on. I'm sorry, very, very sorry to anybody who is hurt by the tweets, because obviously they are very hurtful. Like, a lot of it is just like what, like, why would I even say that? And I apologize for not having said something sooner. I just felt like I was getting these messages from people who like were hurt by them, and I felt like by bringing more attention to it, I was just going to be hurting more people. And that was not the right mindset. I should have said something sooner, and I would never let something go this far again. Like, I love you all so much, and obviously I know that there are some people who are just like not gonna care for me anymore, and like I understand that. I need you to know that like is not how I think, that is not what I believe, and I am 27 years old now. I've had so much time to like learn and grow and like formulate my own opinions, and they are nothing like they were when I was 17, 18 years old.
You weren't 17 or 18 in 2016.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, well, there was more than just the main tweets, and she definitely is hoping that people didn't see all of them, I think.
Yeah, and I also think she tries to distance herself from it in certain ways, but also her saying that she didn't want to address this because she didn't want to hurt more
bullshit.
people is insane.
You didn't want to get canceled.
I wish people would be more honest in situations like this, where it's just like, hey, the idea of coming out with this when the words are so horrible, like, I didn't want to do that. Like, obviously I don't want people seeing something that I'm horrified by. You know what I mean?
Instead of the like,
to just be like, I didn't want to hurt you. It's giving like toxic boyfriend who's like completely lying to your face.
Well, and that's also, we always talk about people that are like, getting canceled was great. It made me like reflect. No, you would have rather not.
Sure.
Like, come on.
I'm sure it was super fun.
Yeah. So she does put out a second apology because that one was not well received. But
No.
before that, and this was insane.
Beyond.
People notice that she has liked the post of someone named Tav Cooperman, and the caption is "Make America Great Again," and it's him, Aiden Ross, Donald Trump, and like it's a carousel, so there's several photos. It's basically him and a bunch of like copy paste influencers that are all like Aiden Ross, and she likes it.
I cannot.
The day after that apology, she likes it.
When I saw this, I just tweeted it to Lily and I'm like, how fucking stupid is she? Like, this is insane. And what's even more insane is her explanation of it.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a sec. But like, even if you like remove everything else, just from a PR perspective alone, what the fuck are you doing? It blows my mind.
I've seen a lot of people being like, well, like, let's say she does support Trump. Like, she's allowed to do that. You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. And it's going to look how it looks to people who you're trying to apologize to. Like, just point blank.
I wasn't even aware that and I saw it from Becca's TikTok, one of them, that Donald Trump has recently spoken out about how he thinks that all cops should just get immunity for anything.
Federal immunity. Yep.
That we're going to give immunity to police so they can do their job. I'm giving federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job.
He's rallying for that. It's like,
that's, first of all, fucking insane. Even the hate crime, like racist stuff aside, I've seen countless videos of cops just like doing horrible shit to anyone.
I've literally said it before. My husband has been threatened twice by police.
It's
like,
insane.
Literally, I heard a police officer tell him, I will use lethal force on you. And he was not doing anything. And I was pregnant. And he said he would make me walk home. Like, he would kill my husband and then make me walk home. I'm like, what?
Well, and when it's so well documented how corrupt police forces are. You just want to let them do whatever they want?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you have to remember, he's immune to consequences, so he believes everybody should be. But also, this is on the heels of the fucking Sonia Massey murder. Like, are you kidding me? We all saw that, and that officer should have never even been allowed in the field, considering he had lied on so many reports and shit. And he was, because our system's fucked. But then this is all happening, and then like a few weeks later, he says that. So Trump is, in my opinion, he says a lot of dangerous shit. I don't love any politicians in general. I think that all of them, given the chance, will just step on me. But like the things that he says to me, I can't stomach them. They're dangerous things to say.
Well, he empowers an entire group of people that like...
And boy, does he. Yeah, they feel real empowered. But then jumping back to Brooke, for you to like this, after all of this is being said, I was just shocked. And then also, don't like a photo with Aiden Ross in it. Ew. Like, he says he masturbates to his sister. Like, I can't.
Oh, what?
And he picks his boogers. Those are like the two least egregious things he's actually said
and
on
it's
his
funny
lives.
because I think even before you sent me the Brooke thing, I had sent Jesse an Aiden Ross post that popped up on my Twitter because he had gifted Donald Trump a Cybertruck. It was wrapped
dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Donald Trump's photo of him after the shooting doing the fist.
You could so tell that Donald Trump did not want that car. He literally was just like,
no, it's
thanks,
literally the entire thing. I'm like, and then they sit inside it and they like listen to music to test out the sound system. I'm like, oh my God.
And then they dance to YMCA.
Literally,
Yeah,
I'm like,
it was
what
epic.
reality are we living in? Anyway,
I don't know.
Back
But
to
get me out of
that.
it.
So in addition to that, like Tana had liked an Aiden Ross picture of the same thing. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And also it's notable that they apparently like some of their best, like closest friends are vocal Trump supporters.
So I don't know this friend, but I see the name thrown around a lot. Ari? I don't know this person, but that's allegedly the like hardcore Trump supporter and has a lot of like crazy views. Oh my God. And then the fucking videos of Tana with her Make America Great Again hat are resurfacing. And then I've seen people saying that was a joke. It was for their little crazy hat day on their podcast, to which I say, Lily, would you choose that for a crazy hat on a crazy hat day?
Don't even know where I would buy one.
Right? Where does one buy one of those? Oh, is this their friend Ari?
I don't think this is Ari, but this is another one that it's literally him wearing a Trump 2024 hat.
People are getting all of these things and saying, okay, birds of a feather flock together. Makes sense. Brooke and Tana are friends. They're also friends with Trump supporters and people who have said racist shit. And then other people will point out that Amari's black. And I'm like,
well, yeah, that's who a lot of Tana's old tweets are to. Anyway, so yeah, people clocked that pretty quickly. And there's like, I didn't even have to scroll before I saw a ton of comments calling her out for it. And it's like, so that apology meant nothing, huh, girl? Why did you like this post? Just outing yourself more, I see. So people were not happy. So she does address that. But first, let's watch her re-apology.
You guys, I want to talk about my last video, okay? Because I am listening to everybody, and obviously I am reflecting and looking back on it, and I do agree with everyone that I missed the mark. I obviously saw everything that was going on, and I saw how hurt everybody was by it, so I felt like I just had to put something out as soon as I physically could so that nobody thought I was ignoring the situation or didn't realize how like important it was. But as a result of that, I put out this like very emotional, scrambled video where I essentially made none of the points that I should have been making. First and obviously most important thing is that I'm so sorry, specifically to Black people and the other people of color who were offended by my tweets, okay? Because obviously I'm seeing a lot of like positivity in the comments and people saying that they forgive me, and it's all white people. And that's how I know I did not address this properly at all. So I want to be clear that this is directed specifically to Black people and other people of color, and I'm not seeking white people's understanding or forgiveness, or approval, or whatever it is. Now, sorry is not enough, in my opinion, for the way that I was tweeting and the things that I was saying online at that time. And I know that there's no apology beyond like reparations that can mend that wound. I don't care if I was a teenager, I was old enough to know better. And not only did I choose to say those things, I chose to say those things on a public platform. And I am very, very ashamed of it. Especially sorry to those who were affected in real time, because keep in mind, I had friends and family who were following me at that time and would have been hurt by those tweets. And I feel sick over that. The tweets were racist, okay? There's no getting around that. They cannot be dismissed as jokes or political opinions or anything else. It was racism. In my last video, I put all this emphasis on my family thinking it was gonna like provide context, but instead it just made it look like I was pointing fingers and like placing blame, and that was exactly the opposite of what I should have been doing. If The fact of the matter is nobody forced me to tweet those things. I tweeted those things on my own, and the blame is on me. A conscious choice to not learn about politics until I was a young adult. But that did not stop me from tweeting political opinions. I wanted to appear that I knew more than I did and that I was educated, and instead I was spreading harmful, very, very harmful misinformation. I had all the educational resources available to me to learn what was right, and I chose not to. However, the murder of Trayvon Martin has nothing to do with politics, okay? Trayvon Martin was a hate crime, it was horrible, and he did not deserve it, and no Black person deserves it. When it happened, I repeated disgusting misinformation on a public platform, and I'm genuinely so disturbed by that. I truly cannot believe it. It makes me sick, like truly sick to think about it now. I mentioned in my last video how I didn't really open my eyes until after college, but I want to make it clear that when I say that, I'm referring to hate crimes in particular. It wasn't until after college that I realized how prevalent police brutality is and how common hate crimes are. It's constantly happening. I think a lot of people felt this way, but the murder of George Floyd shifted my mindset completely, okay? Because that's when I started to really research and learn what it was like and what it looked like to be anti-racist. I started to seek out my own resources and learn what reparations looked like and learn what I could do as a white person in situations like these. And I'm really, truly ashamed that it took me that long. I talked in my last video about how I grew up in a Republican household. And I didn't say that because I think all Republicans are racist, but I just wanted you to know that those are the only conversations that I had been exposed to. But then I went off to college, okay? And I went to college in Arizona, which is still a red state, but Arizona is also a state with a lot of diversity. And I was a public health major, where so many elements have to do with race and racial inequality. I learned so much during that time, you guys. It was actually really eye-opening for me because I had had a lot of thoughts my entire life that completely shifted once I started to learn things from other people's perspectives. So much of what I previously had believed to be true changed, and I started paying attention to things that I hadn't before. Again, I acknowledge that I was an adult at this time, and I had all the resources in the world available to me to educate myself prior to college, and I chose not to, and for that I am sorry. Really, really wish that I had. I wrote my college thesis on racial disparities, so how things like socioeconomic standing, health, housing, income, and so many other things can be affected by your race.
That is such an interesting thing for her to include when one of the tweets that she has exposed, is I started faking liberal views when writing college papers, and it's so concerning how much my grades have improved since. And that was in 2016.
Oh, brother. Yeah, every time she tries to find an out, there's a tweet that just completely negates what she's trying to say.
Why would she even include
Because either
that?
she was lying then or she's lying now.
Exactly.
So
and
which one is it?
I mean, based on the pattern around that time, it doesn't seem like that was a lie. So for her to cite that that's when her feelings changed and that's when she learned all this stuff, and then literally be like, I was faking my papers about it.
But also, something that I found weird was her saying that she was not informed but wanted to appear informed, and she chose not to be informed. What's interesting, I agree that it's a privilege to not care about politics, and I think that when I was younger, especially high school age, I think that when Obama, his inauguration and stuff, we watched it in my class, and I knew about politics, but I wasn't very passionate about it, and that's a privilege.
I mean, in high school, I vividly remember, because I'll be the first to admit that I'm very privileged to have not, it wasn't even I don't care. It was literally just not on my radar.
Not a thought for
not
you.
Even
you didn't have to think about it.
Exactly. And that I'm very aware is a privilege, because a lot of people, it is affecting their day to day, and it wasn't affecting mine. And I remember in high school, literally it wasn't even an assignment. It was a project was to watch the news.
Oh my God.
So that just shows it was understood that no one was tuned in. That was not something we were paying attention to. And that was before all of this started happening, because I'm a little older than she is, but still.
That's what I'm saying, is that for her to say that it is some sort of weird, she was trying to pretend she knew more than she did, if you didn't care about politics and you were actively avoiding politics, you wouldn't have tweeted about politics, like, period. Like, you just would have been doing other stuff like other people who have been privileged like us. I wish it made more sense than it does. And again, I'm not even close to saying whether these marginalized communities should accept or deny this apology. What I will say is she did forget a few communities there that she offended, in my opinion. I know that, you know, obviously the Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman, like, that was the worst one. Yeah, absolutely. But she definitely touched on a lot of different communities that could have also used, you know, you could have expanded on that apology and been a little bit more mindful of that. But again, I do kind of get the sense of like her just trying to like put out the fire as much as she can. So she doesn't want to broaden that. She doesn't want to expand if maybe, like you said, people haven't seen those tweets. And yeah, her explanation to me, I wish it made more sense, and it just doesn't.
And I think that's the hard part, is like, it's hard to wrap your mind around how anyone could think that. And I get that that's why she was providing context about her upbringing. And like, yeah, that might be what led her to do that, but it doesn't make it any less insane.
No. But what I also find insane is her addressing her liking the picture of Aiden Ross and Trump, because I could not believe it when I saw this.
Okay, before this gets any further, I have publicly stated my support for Kamala since she's been in the running, okay? And I still stand behind that. I know how stupid it looks that I liked that post today, and I literally want to kick myself in the fucking face for it, but it was like mindless. I literally was on an airplane scrolling. I saw the last person in the entire world that I would think would be in the room with Trump. So I was like, this is crazy. And I liked the post. Worst timing ever. So fucking stupid. Not a Trump supporter. Okay? Period.
Anymore.
Right. What's crazy is not only that when Becca Day called out that she had liked a post about Trump, fucking Tana Mojo commented on that post and was like, I support Kamala Harris. I'm 1,000% a Democrat. Yeah. And first of all, it's like, okay, first, that doesn't mean shit. Like, is it good that you're not voting for Trump? Sure, in my eyes. But also, you know what this is giving actually, though?
Lauren the Mortician.
Think about it, the Lauren the Mortician. Yeah, Lauren the Mortician saying she was just doom scrolling when she liked anti-trans content.
Just because I liked it doesn't mean I like it. I'm like, girl, that's what the like function is for.
Yeah,
it's pretty self-explanatory.
And also, she could have, I mean, not that I support lying, but like, she could have given us something better. Because like, for me, I will literally fall asleep like with my phone in my hand, and I will send TikToks to people through messages, which is so embarrassing because they're always the most random ones.
Oh my God.
Why
it's
did
like,
it
what
send
the
that?
fuck? No, literally every time I'm coming in from like, if I have like groceries or anything, I always will have my phone like not locked, and I literally press it's out of control. I'll follow people that I don't mean to. Literally, I've said that from day one with Lauren the Mortician. I'm like, just say you didn't mean to like it. What are you doing?
Well, the thing is, like, if you see me like a photo of Trump, that was done with my ass, like 100%. Like, there's just no other way around it. Like, I would never, it doesn't matter who the fuck is in the picture. I cannot bring myself to like a photo with Trump in it. I'm sorry.
I might send Jesse a screenshot of something with Trump, and then we talk shit about it. But definitely not like it, because guess what? I don't like it, and that's what the like function is for.
Exactly. It's just rich to hear like Tana say that, and then like her own photo with Trump and be like, well, but I support Kamala Harris. It's like, people don't understand that it'll like choose, I don't know if it's like the most like the most followed person, where it'll show liked by, you know what I'm talking about?
That's the thing. I'm like, this was so stupid just from a PR perspective. Like, why don't like anything right now.
That explanation was so dumb, and I think I literally texted it to you, and I was like, this is so dumb.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. We might have to cut this out, but I'm gonna ask her if we can include it, and I feel like she wouldn't mind. Becca said that this was her reaction to seeing Tana's comment.
That in the course of this campaign that you
Hello?
Melania, is there something you've learned about it?
She said that she's Anderson Cooper.
It just makes no sense. It's like, why'd you say that? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it was so random. But so then the last video of hers that we have is actually probably the only like good thing that she's done. And while we don't know that she didn't show proof, she didn't show receipts,
and we don't know that the motives are good, but we know that the outcome,
but it's good that she did it, because also she still has not addressed like Trayvon Martin's family or anything. A lot of people were like, have you donated to the Trayvon Martin Foundation? Like, what are you doing? And she finally responded and said that yes, she had, and she doesn't say the amount in this, but I did see a comment where she responds to someone and she said she donated $10,000.
Like I said, I think reparations are more important than apologies. So I have already donated to the Trayvon Martin Foundation. Literally the first thing I did. And I'm doing my research. I'm looking into other communities and foundations that I can help with, and I will continue to do that. Like I said, in any way that I can help, I will help.
I don't know.
That's one positive thing that I guess came out of this, but otherwise there's a lot of issues. And I think you have some examples of Black creators that have spoken on it, because I know,
Yes,
like, one, we're not
now.
trying to lead this conversation or give all of our thoughts as if they're the most important or important at all. But I think scrolling through and watching so many other people's takes on it that were Black people or people of color, it opened my eyes to other perspectives that I hadn't even realized. So I think it's really important to focus on that.
Yeah, definitely. I just sent you one that I thought was an interesting way of putting it for people who may not fucking get it. So we can watch that, but then also link them below so you guys can check out Black creators speaking from their perspective on just why this is so harmful. And I think also people view accountability as like this like really heinous thing. And I get it. It probably feels like absolute, like a nightmare for Brooke right now that all of her past is being put out, especially when she was riding such a high with the entire internet supporting her.
I think the thing that people need to realize that if anyone is defending her, Brooke's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like, she is a white influencer, and yes, there have been some brands that have dropped her and stuff. Chili's, I know, did, which I'm like, fine, Chili's.
You can have this one.
Rare W for you.
I think that their core fan base is going to support them regardless. Their audience is not necessarily the people that are upset with her right now. And so for that reason, she is going to be fine. And regardless of whether she says she wants it or not, they're going to go back into a comfortable space with their audience that is like, oh, you don't have nothing to worry about. And they're just going to kind of keep going.
Well, and just to acknowledge that, yes, she is going to be fine. And like, guess what? You were contributing to like very harmful ideas and rhetoric that like those people might not be fine. Like that affects them much more than just like this. Honestly, is she going to have to deal with it for the rest of her life and career? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, but not in the way that Black people have to deal with racism every day. And like, it's just, she'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, I did think that this TikTok offered an interesting perspective.
Imagine if I hated women. And I have all these tweets about how much I hate women, and it's LOL. Yeah, I drove like a woman today. Oh, I said so many misogynistic things. I'm surprised they let me into the women in gender studies class. Then you scroll through my Instagram feed, and I'm not pictured with a single woman. Thousands of photographs, thousands of pictures of me in public spaces with other people, and there's not a single woman over the course of almost 10 years. Then I do a podcast with someone else that has all these inflammatory tweets about how much they dislike women. They have said fuck women on YouTube. They've said fuck women multiple times on YouTube. They have tweets talking about here goes my pet woman. Oh, I'm disappointed when people like women. And that's who I'm doing a podcast with. That's who I've linked up with. So both me and my co-host have openly expressed how much we dislike women and how happy we are that Roe v. Wade passed. And how if it was men that experienced that, baby, it wouldn't be an issue. And then those tweets get exposed. And I come into someone's comments and I say, I love women. What are you talking about? I'm not a misogynist. I don't hate women. I love women. I've done the work. That's not me. And yes, all those terrible things that I said about women, they were disgusting and untrue, but that's not how I feel. I'm a different person now. Even though to this day, I'm not pictured in a photo with a single woman. Do I think that you need to lose everything that you've built behind 10-year-old tweets? No, that's cornball shit. But do I think that you still hold a lot of the same thoughts? Absolutely. Otherwise, you wouldn't be freaking out like this. You would understand that you need to let us tug on your wig a little bit for being hateful to us.
Not the tug on your wig a little bit.
Go to the comment section, because what he put up was comments that Brooke left and then deleted on that TikTok, the one that he was replying to. So I guess she was kind of going rogue and explaining herself in Black people's comment sections, which is insane.
Okay, it's her saying, I'm not a racist and I know that. I've said racist things and acted in ways that are racist. I know that and I'm disgusted by it, but it makes me feel horrible and I would something if I could, but I can't. I've done the work and learned why everything I believe was so wrong, and I don't expect everyone to up and forgive me, but that is the truth. I was not doing research as a teenager. I wasn't trying to learn or understand. I was talking the words out of a grown white man's mouth, or I was taking that I saw on TV and accepting them as the truth.
And honestly, I just find this to be kind of a weird approach, especially that she like puts learned in all caps and is just like, I already learned. Like basically like, can you guys stop? That's what that felt like.
Well,
to me.
That's one of the crazy things, is because she really says that she didn't learn till like after college. Brooke's only 27.
Yeah.
Like,
That was not long ago.
you don't unlearn decades of racism in 3 years.
You can't. And the thing is that I feel like maybe she went from one extreme to another and now doesn't want to be bothered about it. It feels like it's just like, guys, what more do you want from me?
And I get that that's uncomfortable. Because even I think
Obviously.
of things like you said, like when you go watch movies and stuff and you're like, oh my God, how did I not realize that was
Yeah.
bad before? Because you just didn't. I get that it's uncomfortable, but you can't just like pretend it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, I think that I had said this to you originally when I found out about all this. I was like, I would have liked to hear how did you unlearn it? Like what helped you unlearn it? Because genuinely, it's easy to say those words, but it's not an easy thing to do. Like you have inherent biases, we all do. And I think that her just kind of being like, I learned and now I'm better. Like I don't think that she's going about this the right way at all. I think that she kind of just wants it to go away, which like what I heard, interestingly enough, of all people, Trisha Paytas say when she was talking about all of this is she was like, I feel like it's important to grow as a human being and to allow growth. And I think that if we shut ourselves off to growth and like the possibility of growth in people, it makes the world a lot more of a grim place. You know what I mean? It makes it feel like, oh my God, nobody can change. That fucking sucks, because there's a lot of fucked up shit in this world. But at the same time, in order to grow, actually grow, not just be like, I already learned, like I know, like racism's wrong, like okay, yes, but do you know everything that goes into that, the small things that you could be contributing to even still that could make people feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, that it's to just give it a blanket, like it's wrong.
It's
like
not enough.
Well, do you know exactly why that was hurtful, like what you said?
Even him just bringing up that like she hasn't been pictured with a black person in 10 years. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. I'm like,
No, it is.
that's an issue.
And like what you just said about Trisha saying that like you need to allow growth. And like I came from a very white privileged area and I just like didn't, just stuff was not on my radar that
Right.
should have been. But it's like then when it does get on your radar, like I get the human nature to be defensive, but you can acknowledge that you are a product of where you're from and like how you grew up and nurture versus nature and stuff. And I get that you are influenced by who's around you. But then if you've acknowledged that it was your responsibility now to like learn and change all of your beliefs and stuff, then again, you can't unlearn that in 3 years.
You can't. And again, it's like, I know you can't control where you were born, that community, what they said and did. And that can contribute to a lot of your adolescence and the way you acted. And it is embarrassing because a lot of times you growing up is being just a reflection of everyone around you, because what else do you have? You're just literally imitating until you know better yourself.
But it seems like even with the like faking liberal views for the papers and like stuff like that, it seems like you did know better though at a certain point and you were still doing that.
That's
And
my
then
thing.
it took something as egregious as George Floyd to make you
Wake up.
supposedly,
Quote,
like, and that's the
unquote.
thing. And do we
Yeah.
know if that's genuine? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's all too much. Again, not our apology to accept or deny, so we shall not. But it's really disappointing. Is it surprising? Probably not.
I just know that with how disappointed like we are,
Imagine.
I can't imagine what general people that even aren't fans of her, like to see stuff like that. It's gonna be a stab to the heart. But then also, I mean, I don't know how many they have, but like they're Black or people of color fans that like I can't imagine being such a fan of someone and then finding out that they literally like. It's just really dark and disappointing.
It is. And we thought it was important to cover it because, again, we've been vocally supportive of Brooke. We still hate Clinton Kane. I'm sorry. I do.
I was going to say, but I do want to reiterate, Clinton, this means nothing.
Clinton, you stay in your corner.
And also
don't you come
Alyssa
out.
Violet's TikTok. I can't handle it.
Oh my God. Of course, Alyssa Violet jumped on this.
I'm like, girl, shut up.
She is like up there with CCR and just throwing herself into random shit. It's like, why are you here?
Oh, God.
But anyway, that is the Brooke Schofield tweets that got revealed. Super disappointing to see. Pretty awful apology. Again, we'll leave links to more Black creators who gave commentary on this because there's a lot of perspectives out there and I think it's important to hear.
And especially if you're white, I recommend going and watching them.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. We can jump into me introducing you to my friends.
Yeah, what the fuck
I don't know
are
why
you
I keep
talking
saying that. Like, I literally do
know,
not know
it's
why
so
I keep
creepy.
saying. I didn't know how to introduce it, so I was just like, might as well just say they're my friends. Do you know about Queen Cheryl?
No, I don't. I'm not familiar.
The like really old lady and the young guy. Really? What the fuck? Oh my God, we have such different For You
I think
pages.
we've been,
Okay.
that's been established.
I know. Yeah, yours is just dogs and what else? Conspiracies, probably.
And wombats.
And wombats. Right. Mine is Love Island. And I guess Queen Cheryl. All right. King Karan, I hope I'm saying that right, and then Queen Cheryl. That is the couple's name. He is very young and she is very old. That's what pretty much what you need to know they're known for on the internet, to the point that I was like, okay, for sure this is fake. Like, let me show you, just click on one of their TikToks just so you can get a visual here. We're not trying to shame age gaps. I'm just really not sure what's going on here.
Well, it said he was 27 and she's 64.
She has to be older than that.
Yeah.
She's 64.
Famous birthdays says she's 64. Oh my God.
She looks like she's 85. I'm sorry.
It looks like she has like old person makeup on.
Can you imagine that's what this really is? No, she really looks like that, but she looks in her 80s.
I've never
so
seen
that
these
is
people
interesting.
before in my life.
Really? That's so interesting that you've been able to stay away from them for this long. Well, these are my friends.
I was
Anyway,
going to say,
so-
you have other friends. First of all, in general, what? And then second of all, these are your friends.
Yeah, they're my friends. No, actually, every time I've seen them, I've been super flabbergasted, to the point that I did go down a little bit of a rabbit hole one night and I saw them
having a
both,
baby?
and I was like, there's just no way. Okay, well, don't jump ahead here. Okay, we've got a lot to cover.
No.
No, yeah. So there's a whole bunch of shit there because obviously she's out of the age of being able to have a baby. Can't have a baby at 64 as a woman, but they were allegedly having a baby. Then they allegedly were doing it through a surrogate. Then that surrogate allegedly backed out and was also like doing drugs. And it's just this whole fucking thing. If you want to ask me, I don't think there's a baby. I think they do a lot of shit for clout. They do weird shit, which is why when I first saw them, I was like, they're fake. There's no way that they are a real couple. So I went down a rabbit hole one night and oh my God, I ended up on Twitter and there is videos of them fucking.
I'm going to throw up.
And I mean,
First of all, can we just
Fucking.
Twitter and the fucking porn and the nudes, like
It's out of
It
control.
is out of control.
and much love to my friends like from Vine who have become OF people. Like, I'm not even trying to shade you, but like I can't, and I don't go on Twitter, but I used to, and I couldn't like open it in public because I'd see you
Well, that's I'm
dingling
like,
your thingy.
that's fine. Do your thing, live your dreams, but keep it on OnlyFans.
Well, how are they going to promote it? They got to let you know what they got.
Well, no, but you can't give away everything for free. Why don't you like have some
I don't know,
covered
Lily.
things
Point
and be
is,
like, see
I
what's
saw them
underneath?
full-on
Go to my
fucking.
OnlyFans.
I saw them. There was no censor, nothing, just cheeks flying, and it was something. It was honestly something. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, so they're together. They're definitely together, and they love each other.
Or just really
Which-
committed to the bit.
I don't even know that that's possible. He seemed really into it. And then most notably, recently, he's dyed his hair. So he didn't used to have this bleached hair, so he looked even younger. But now he dyed his hair like bleach blonde, so he almost looks a little bit old because of it, because it looks like
Yeah, I was
white,
gonna say
low-key.
bleach blonde is like it's white.
But anyway, so the surrogate thing is a completely separate rabbit hole we can go down. And honestly, until that baby, alleged baby, I don't think there's a baby, is born, we won't know what's going on. So the reason we're talking about them is because, of course, they live in Georgia. I told you.
Why?
they're my friends.
Literally, it's Texas or Georgia every time, or Florida, of course. But
Or
that's
Florida.
understood.
Yeah. Back when I lived in fucking Florida, it was always Florida. And now it's always Georgia. These bitches keep following me.
I mean, they're friends, so.
But they say that they bought a house that's called the Soar House. And I'll just let them, give you a little tour. Don't worry, they're not going to be fucking outside or anything.
I was like, what are you showing me?
It's payback for the Wiley Boys.
We're at the women's shelter that we got.
Listen, Daresville, Georgia, we are in the process of restoring it and bringing it back to life so we can bring something back to the community. This is something we're very passionate about. So we're going to take y'all and get y'all into what we have planned.
She seems very enthused.
Hey guys, this is the future Soar House. The Soar House will be a women and children's shelter located in Adairsville, Georgia. This is a 22,000 square foot facility. This facility will include 40 well-lit rooms, a free daycare, state-of-the-art cafeteria, classrooms for GED, prep, trade school classes, and other business classes. We will also have a wing dedication to detox, rehab, and therapy. Some other amenities at the Soar House will include Bible study, horseback riding, swimming, an exercise room, free clothing, and free hygiene products. As you all can see, we have a lot of work to do. All donations are accepted and appreciated, even if it's just $1. We're also accepting any used women's clothes and children's clothes, babies' clothes, or all other baby products, toiletries, hygiene products, furniture, building material, and volunteers. We definitely need volunteers. If you're interested in volunteering, need community service, please go to our website and sign.
Wonderful idea.
So
this is actually my way of telling you I'm quitting the podcast to go volunteer at the storehouse. No. Okay.
I was like, horses?
No, they got it all. She kept listing shit. I'm like, damn, I want to go there.
And then she's asking, like, saying what they want people to donate. I'm waiting for her to be like, horses, but there were already horses there. Sorry that's my main focus. I love horses.
There was horses there? I didn't even see that.
Did you not see that at the end?
You're such a horse girl. Did you guys know that Lily's a horse girl?
I was a proud horse girl.
She used to play with invisible horses. What's that called? What is it called again?
No. Do not try and tell people I did the pony play shit.
What is it called?
Pony play.
Is it actually called pony play, the sport?
I mean, I don't think it's a legitimate sport, so yeah.
It is. They go to competitions. They get on a fucking fake pony.
Sorry. My bad. It's hobby horse.
Hobby horsing. Yeah, they be acting like they're throwing up and shit. Like they
oh my
really
God, literally
act like it's heavy.
It's concerning, honestly. But no, at the
Anyway.
end of that, it showed there was like a pasture of horses.
Oh
Look at it.
yeah, I see the horses now. Nice. Okay. So initial thoughts. That's awesome.
Thoughts. Is it real? As soon as I heard donations, I was like, oh, got it.
Yeah, you're a smart cookie. No, it's not real.
Yeah.
Mind you, they got a lot of love on this, except now they've been outed, so less love. But initially I saw like, this is amazing. Like, thank you guys so much for doing that. Then they got outed because it turns out, I don't even know how they were allowed to film here. Like, they do not own this place at all. They literally were trespassing.
Someone said, I don't get why you would lie about purchasing it. I'm like, well, I mean, the purchasing it is the least of the concerns.
Dude, they are so weird.
Are they like drug addicts?
I don't know. And I'm not even trying to be like weird or disrespectful. They just,
no, I'm just
not
genuinely
sure
asking because like, what would you, this is weird.
If she's really 63, it said, like, she doesn't look that age, so maybe drugs are involved here. And he also acts really erratic and strange, and I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. But anyway, so this turns out to be a complete lie. They did not buy this fucking house. And we know this because someone named Charlie Miller, who's claiming to post on behalf of the owners, posted to like the neighborhood Facebook group. This is also fucking obscure and weird, but that's what we're about to read right now is the post on that Facebook group.
Okay, should I do a cold read?
Go for it.
Hello all, I hope everyone is well. There's been a lot of static in circulation recently of a couple in Rome, Georgia, who had posted a video of a large building in Adairsville that they claimed to have and were turning into a women and children's shelter. They did not purchase this property. They did not lease this property, nor were they ever in contract for this property. While the owner of the property believes a women and children's shelter in Adairsville would be beneficial and an incredibly noble undertaking, at this time he did not feel this was the right couple for such a project.
You think?
Yeah, I'm like, what gave you that idea? He has repeatedly requested that the video of them soliciting money for the property be removed to no avail. Any and all donations they have and continue to receive are in no way affiliated or going towards this property or the actual owner of the property. For those of you curious about the history of this unique property, before it was obtained by the current owner, it was a girls' reform school. Before that, it was an American church, and before that, many, many years ago, it was a mental hospital. The stone foundation of the original mental hospital structure can still be seen. It is now a private property. We ask respectfully that no one makes any attempts to access the property. Thank you so much for your time and understanding. Wishing you a wonderful weekend, Charlie.
I mean, there's no proof, but I believe him. Seems
I don't
legit
know
enough to
why.
me.
I can understand why they would lie. I don't know why a random person named Charlie would lie.
And knows so much about the history of the property and shit like that.
Yeah, the interesting
It does
choice.
seem legit. But someone named Kimberly44 went on TikTok and posted this Facebook post, and that's how it became a thing on TikTok. So people went into their comments and were like, what the fuck? Why would you lie about this? And then they respond.
Hello.
Hello.
So we did not purchase that property in Adairsville, Georgia. There was a lot of things going wrong.
What? Didn't they open the last one with, we purchased this property?
Can you go back to check? Because actually, I think they did.
Like, are you kidding?
That is pretty outrageous. Wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. I hadn't seen that yet.
Hello.
We're at the women's shelter that we got.
Yes, in Adairsville, Georgia. We are in the process of restoring it and bringing it back to life so we can bring
Yeah.
some...
I mean,
we
that's
got
pretty-
is we purchased. It was
Yeah.
very unenthusiastic, but she did say that.
The beginning just starting with like,
I can't with that
hello.
intro.
It's just so...
Hello.
So we did not purchase that property in Adairsville, Georgia. There was a lot of things going wrong with the property. There was a lady there who harassed us completely on the internet that is homeless, that lives there in a barn. And she harassed us because...
Completely harassed us on the on the internet? What
In
is
the
that?
barn.
Like, what is going on?
And also, who cares if she's homeless? You're also trespassing.
I was like,
so,
is she homeless?
what
Or
are
does
we
she own the
talking about
property,
here?
maybe?
She harassed us because we said she would have to get rid of her horses because they're malnourished. That's not something you can have on any type of, you can't do that. And she got mad that we told her that.
What is
The
happening?
way Cheryl's just like, ma'am, he makes 0 sense right now. I would
So
not
the
be
homeless
nodding.
lady that was living in the barn needed to get rid of
On the
her
internet.
on the internet, of course. Needed to get rid of her malnourished horses.
We're still going to do this homeless women and children shelter. And the best part about this, I'm doing it in my own hometown. It's not going to be in another town first. And this is not going to be the only storehouse because we're opening in many different states.
What the fuck
Me
is
when
this?
my mom asked me if I did my
Literally,
homework, and I just started babbling.
What is he saying?
Another thing, we never said we owned the storehouse. We teamed up with SOAR Kids.
What? No, this is new information. So
I feel like this is grounds for everyone to get their donation back. If this was some sort of GoFundMe thing, I don't
No,
know how many
this is
people. I'm telling you,
actually-
when I last look at it, people were supporting them. I feel like they got donations, is what I'm saying. I don't think they got nothing. So, like, you can't just add a bunch of random things. It's like, I never said we were going to do it. We're going to partner
This
with
is
these people.
actually
Okay, so
insane.
who are we donating to?
and also
Right?
like
They're
feels
just
like word
babbling.
salad.
Oh, definitely.
Advocate for SOAR House. Because of the things we're going through with our surrogate and the things we have been going through, it has been emotionally draining. So therefore, we don't want no one else to do with what we're going through. A homeless person, a person who's fighting addiction, a person, anything. We want you to get help.
What is he
What?
talking about? There are literally
know,
so
I
many
wish he was
different
better at
things
explaining.
coming out of his
I'll
mouth.
say.
I've never been more confused in my entire life.
So therefore, that's why we're giving back to the community. It offends me because y'all, oh, it's so many people dying. Oh, this fake, this ain't whatever. I don't care what y'all think.
What?
He's real all over the place.
There has
This
to be
is
drugs. This has
crazy.
to be drugs.
You know, I don't know. The surrogate thing that he's talking about, I do know what he's talking about because, again, the surrogate that is supposedly carrying their baby, which, you know, we'll see what happens, is a drug addict, which I think they did like an informal, because, you know, surrogates are really expensive.
Yeah.
So I think that they just like got someone that they knew, or maybe it was like a follower, a fan or something. I don't know the logistics of it, but this is so weird. It's like, why are you throwing all of these things at us that make 0 sense and do not change the fact that you stood outside of a building, you said, this is the building, you said the specs of it and everything, the 41 well-lit rooms, the horse, the pool,
But the
all
horses
of the
are
fucking
malnourished,
shit.
so they had to get rid of them because that's not something you can have apparently.
And what about the homeless lady in the barn and
I
on
don't
the internet?
know.
I'm so
What is
confused.
going on?
It's all so weird. But his tone is very much like, you idiots. Like, you should have known.
That's-
And I'm
I
like,
feel-
should we have? I don't even know
Oh
what's
my
going
god,
on.
I feel gaslit.
What y'all think? God's going to make a way and we're still going to deliver. There is no reason for them to bash us and doubt us because, yes, it's a process, but we never signed a contract with them. We had checked out the place. We wanted to renovate one, but the place had debt. The man wanted us to pay his loans and debts off and all this stuff. It came with a lot of hassle. So what we've been doing all week is working, finding a building. We've been going places, looking for sponsors. We've been doing a lot behind the scenes. And y'all don't know that because we haven't gave y'all an update because we've been so busy. But since y'all need one so badly,
He is the worst.
Shut the fuck
oh,
up.
shit. Oh, my.
Because you guys need
Sir.
you need an update after you found out we lied about owning this property. What the fuck is going on?
Literally, you're to blame because you're unclear, and you guys said that you got that building, which led everyone to believe that donations were going to renovations that you said that building needed. That's literally why they asked for donations. What if people were like, I volunteer to help you, and they show up to that building, there ain't nobody there, nobody bought it. Like, it's just so weird.
This is insane.
Honestly, it feels stupid even trying to give a rational explanation because everything he's saying just sounds so stupid. It's like, what?
Oh my god. And we didn't sign a contract. Well, then why did you make a video saying that you had why are you yelling at us?
And that video wasn't even like just like, oh, this is our vision. No, you were like, this is what we got and this is what we're gonna do and this is how you can help us. You were pretty clear.
This is insane.
here, we're still going to do the SOAR House. We're going to advocate for it because that's something we feel passionate about.
Yes.
That's something we love. And I felt like it's something I'm doing to change other people's lives. Like, I love giving back. And that's the best way we can. So at the end of the day, we don't care what none of y'all have to say. We're still doing this. We're going to advocate for it because we feel passionate enough to help other people out. Like, all these people got these platforms and so quick to judge and bash us. But what have you done with your platform? What have you done to give back to the community? What have you gave?
Sir, what have you done besides lie to everyone?
CEO of gaslighting. Also, is Cheryl okay? It's giving
No,
Weekend at
no,
Bernie's,
she
and I'm
literally,
not
she's
even trying
chimed
to
in
be like-
once, just going, yep, yep.
It's like someone's like puppeteering her right now. Like she's literally just like
Weekend at
nodding, like,
Bernie's.
it's so weird.
But you're quick to judge us and doubt us and all this stuff. It's okay. God got us. We're covered in the blood. So it don't matter what y'all got to say.
What?
We're still going to keep doing this storehouse, and we're going to keep advocating because we're passionate about it.
He's using the word advocating a lot. Advocating for what, sir?
Well, the thing is that it was like a DV house and for addicts, recovering addicts and families. And all of that is beautiful and fine and dandy. And nobody's saying that you shouldn't have a dream
But
of that.
what?
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's just, why'd you lie and say you got
That,
this place
yes.
and you need donations to renovate it when you didn't get the fucking place?
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much blood you're covered in, bitch. Like, that doesn't change anything. Yeah, I don't know what to make of
Jesse,
that.
I
That
think you
was
need some new friends.
interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to call them up and just tell them we can't hang out anymore.
So everybody keeps saying we got outed by the owner, this, that, whatever. That lady is homeless. She lives up there. She abuses her horses. There's like 8 horses up there that are malnourished. That's the thing. We never signed the contract because we said them horses got to come off the property because you can't have them on a facility because that'll get you shut down. But as you can see, this is public information. But as you can see, that's a man. I have this man number right here.
What?
I have yet to ever in my life see a homeless person with a herd of horses.
I think what he's referring to is that the person who posted, their name is Charlie Miller. I thought it was a guy, but I guess that's a girl. And he's saying that that woman is like some vindictive homeless lady who owns a bunch of horses.
Who has access
I
to
don't
the internet,
understand what
apparently.
he's trying to insinuate. What I will say is like that person never claimed to be the owner in those Facebook posts. Like she was just like, the owner thinks this, and this is the history of this building. And it's very weird. His explanations make no sense. And yet he's pointing at this like, you see?
Well,
Like,
and really, not to keep dwelling
but-
on the horses, but what do you mean you'll get shut down if there's malnourished horses? That's not illegal to, like, I mean, they shouldn't be malnourished, obviously, but like, what are you talking about?
I have his number. That's the owner. The owner, we already discussed everything. That's him though. So all this stuff, we heard from this world. That woman is against our whole mission and our plan to start.
Oh, got cut off.
Oh my God, I don't know what to make of this, but I'm pretty sure that's it. Like they scam people out of donations because again, people were supportive in the beginning and then they came out that they did not own that building. I don't know what Queen Cheryl meant by they got it, but they definitely didn't get it in any sense of the word. And now they're saying they're going to continue their journey, but they're very vague about it, which must make the people who donated feel very comfortable and great because they're literally just like, don't worry, we still have ambitions. And it's like, okay.
When it looks like they referenced how they were working with SOAR Kids, which is something else, I guess, for the SOAR Kids is funding the SOAR House. And I guess Cheryl had soarkids.org in her bio, and it was web archived from July 30th. And it says, our goal is to provide the best environment and opportunities for the next generation. By doing that, we often have to help the entire family unit. That's why SOAR Kids is happy to announce we will be opening a women and children's shelter in Adairsville, Georgia. The shelter will be open to battered women and homeless women with children. Because we house women and children, we will never give out the exact address to the shelter. Their safety is our top priority. But that's archived, and now it just says coming soon.
Weird.
I mean, the website does not look particularly
Sophisticated.
Yeah. And there's no capture of it before July 30th, so it kind of maybe seems like someone just like
They just threw it together or had like a follower
Correct.
do it or
Yes.
something.
Interesting.
I mean, I hope that they have dreams and ambitions and those are like true, but that doesn't really matter if what you're doing is just like lollygagging around, collecting donations for a vague idea that you have no conceptual idea for.
Yeah, like you
It's
need
just
to
like,
actually have something
what are you
that's
gonna do?
going towards, not just like just in case.
Dude, this is the weirdest shit ever. Everything they do is so weird. And how old is he again?
He's 27, it said.
That's insane. That's insane.
Oh, I guess there was a SOAR Kids nonprofit in Calhoun, Georgia, which is 15 minutes from Adairsville, but it was revoked in 2018 for failure to provide documentation.
Oh boy.
Wow, what an interesting journey that was.
I think that they should stick to what they know on the internet. It's likely that, unfortunately, they're probably not going to open a house like that because it's extremely difficult to do and to maintain. And I think that maybe their intentions were there. I'll give them that. I'll say maybe.
Were they? Yeah, I'm like, I
maybe.
don't know. That seemed a little weird.
I don't know. It's easy to maybe assume that they just are going to pocket those donations.
Yeah, that's, I mean, just because of like the fucking word salad and like him scolding people for getting mad, I'm like, Something's
bizarre.
weird. Like, that's fucked.
And I'm telling you, they're a strange couple. I have no idea what their motives are, what makes them happy in life. I don't know how they operate. I really don't. But wish them well, I
Jesus
guess, and hope
Christ.
people get their donation money back.
Yeah. Well, also, did they even give
Doubt it.
anywhere to donate?
No.
I don't think there's like a GoFundMe or anything linked. How are they even accepting them?
Oh
Wow.
my God, this is so bizarre.
Literally, that was one of
Anyway.
the. I couldn't have expected that in a million years.
Right? Anyway, okay, we could do our We Love the Internet now. And mine does involve farts because I told Lily that last week she didn't let me do my fart one. It was going to be now. I don't know what show this is from, but this is from some sort of reality show, I'm guessing. And I need to find out what it is so I can watch it immediately. But it says on screen, my toddler, every time I try to gentle parent them.
I would love to sit here and chit chat with you, but I gotta go.
That's Amelie. That is my daughter.
Oh my God.
Actual footage.
Oh, wow. That was funny. I'll give you that.
Thank you. I appreciate
Mine
it.
is, not shockingly, a dog.
Oh, yeah.
And it ran onto a soccer field to get the ball, of course.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he just starts petting him.
I would do that too and be like, oh my God, everyone stop the game.
Oh my God. Oh no, not the walk of shame. He's holding the ball.
And he's like, oh,
he
darn.
dropped it.
The dog is just like, couldn't give any fucks.
He's the size of the player.
And
That's
he's
insane.
struggling to hold him, but then watch this guy take him. Whoop. His ears just flop as he goes away. Oh my God, he was so cute. I'm like, is that just a stray dog or
is.
does that belong to someone? I'm so confused.
He seems like he belongs there.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't have an owner. It's just like he lives at the soccer stadium.
Oh my gosh, that was so cute.
Anyway,
Well, guys,
that's all we
if you
have
made
for
it to the
today.
end, yeah, we very much appreciate you. I gotta go. I'm sweaty. At the end of every episode, I'm sweaty. I can't wait for winter to come. and
I
then
know. I was
won't
thinking
be
I
as
really miss
sweaty.
my sweatshirts.
Yeah, I know. Same. I have cute ones that I bought and I can't wear them because I will die.
We still need to make merch. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, that's it. And as always, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and we will see you on Monday. Bye.
Yes.